Hi, everyone, and welcome back to some new episodes of Sisters in Service. For those of you that know me, you know why I do this, because I want to tell those stories of active duty women and women veterans, and to tell their story, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly of what happened to them in service and after service. But these women are also doing some amazing things in their life after service. I also like to highlight these women who are business owners, they're entrepreneurs, they're bosses in their business. So I hope you'll continue to listen and let your friends know and let me know how this lands with you, because it's really important for me that you guys understand what I do, why I do it, and why I continue to do it. So here's the first episode. This episode is being sponsored by Small Space Pilates. Are you ready to get fit and fabulous from the comfort of your own home? Look no further than Small Space Pilates. With live online Pilates and weight training classes, a video library, and a no perfection allowed policy, you can achieve your fitness goals without ever leaving your house. Visit smallspacepilates.com for your complimentary session and start your journey to feeling fabulous today. Hi, everybody. It is the freaking fabulous Cat Corchado with a Why Not Wellness segment about Pilates. I get asked all kinds of questions about Pilates. Who's it for? Can I do Pilates? Do I, all these questions. And we're going to answer some of those questions today. But first, let me reiterate why I want to do Why Not Wellness. If you've been listening, you've heard me say that I believe that everybody has the right to feel good in their body. And maybe it's not Pilates. Maybe it's running. Maybe it's not running and it's weight training. And you pick what you want to do and then feel good doing it. Notice how your body feels different, better, more energy, more relaxation, better sleep. And I can go on and on and on. So I want you to feel great in your body too. And with that, I'm doing these 15-minute segments to give you some insight on different things about fitness. For those of you that don't know, I've been in the fitness industry almost 40 years. Yeah, I look good for 89, right? I'm lying. I don't know everything, but I know a lot. And if you have any questions, you see at the bottom, what are your questions or comments? Send them to me. I'll find out what I can about it and get back to you as soon as I can. So what is Pilates? So everything you need to know to get started on your journey. What is it? So number one, don't be fooled by the simplicity of the exercises in Pilates. I've been an instructor for over 15 years. That's Pilates only. And it's harder than it looks. One of the things I have people tell me all the time is that it looks so easy. If someone walks in and says they did a Pilates class or they did a private and it was easy, in my mind, I'm thinking they weren't doing Pilates. I'm just going to say that's my first thought. Sorry. I've been in the industry for a long time and I get it. Whatever they were doing is not Pilates. So what is it? Pilates is a low impact yet high intensity workout that uses a variety of apparatuses to create muscle tension and deliver results. As you may know, it was developed by Joseph Pilates in the early 20th century. It was originally intended for physical rehabilitation. So I get a lot of referrals from physical therapists. And so if your physical therapist says to do Pilates, believe me, they know what they're talking about. So what sets Pilates apart is its effectiveness without subjecting the body to stress and impact associated with such high intensity activities like running. I like running, or anything else. So if you have any kind of injury, you're kind of not sure what you want to do. So let's set up a scenario. You've been working out. Let's say it's tennis. And all of a sudden you get an injury. You rehab the injury, you're going to PT, your PT says, okay, you need to do Pilates. So there's this gap here. You were doing your tennis, you had an injury, there's a gap here, here's tennis over here. How do you fill in the gap? Pilates is that gap. It's going to get you stronger in a way that you've never been strong before. I can also tell you that I've had clients from every background. I've had professional football players. I've had ballet dancers. I've had every genre you can believe. And they're all weak in some form or fashion. I know you're going to say a football player that's weak. They're not weak in the strength department. They're weak in other places. So I would love for all football players, professional sports particularly, to be involved with Pilates, because what's the goal? The goal is to get to the championship game, right? You can't do that if your team, half of your team is sitting on the bench. I'm going to land my plane right there because I can get on a tangent there. So Pilates is a slow, controlled exercise. It's not super fast. It's not super slow, just enough where you feel that you're working. It places a strong emphasis on the mind-body connection and breath work. So what that means is that you use your mind in Pilates to move your body. So for the next few sentences, I want you to do something for me. I want you to squeeze your bottom, squeeze it and hold it until I'm done. Okay, I can't do it because if I do that, I can't tell you what I'm going to tell you. So squeeze your bottom and hold it. So it makes Pilates both challenging and calming. It's versatile and uses effective exercise methods that can improve flexibility, strength, core, posture without causing stress on your joints. So Pilates increases your core strength, overall strength, and flexibility. So if you're a strong person physically, Pilates will address your weaknesses such as flexibility. If you're what we call a Betty Spaghetti, super bendy, Pilates will address your strength. So the ability to achieve a fit physique without the risk of injury is a significant appeal for many people. Pilates highlights the benefits of improved flexibility, strength, and posture for participants of all fitness levels. Okay, let your bottom go. Did you feel it? You had to think about it, didn't you? You couldn't just say bottom squeeze. It doesn't work that way. You have to use your mind in order to move your body. So let's talk about the different types of Pilates. Yeah, I know, right? Not all Pilates is the same. There are two types of Pilates. There's contemporary and classical. Classical came first, contemporary later. Which one you choose depends more on the instructor than the style of Pilates, but more of that to come later. Even though there are many types of equipment in Pilates, you will most certainly do mat and reformer or a combination of both. We often say that not all Pilates is the same because variations exist in teaching styles, emphasis on specific principles, and incorporation of equipment. Different instructors may prioritize different aspects, such as physical rehabilitation, core strength, flexibility. I can't speak today, y'all. Flexibility, leading to diverse approaches within the broader part of the Pilates method. I will say that my certification is classical, which means that I teach to the body in front of me. So depending on your health and well-being, I may give you an abbreviated routine, modifications to different exercises, and or variations in each exercise. So what I mean by that is some places will just give the same exercise to everybody, no matter what their injury, no matter how they come in, they give the same exercise in the same way. So when I teach classes, we all know what the 100 is. If you walked into my class, you would see different people in various forms of the 100. Some people have their head down. Some people have their head up. Some people have their feet down. Some people have their legs up. It all looks very different depending on your body. So here's a question I get all the time. Pilates or yoga? Ooh, I get this question a lot. My answer is this. It depends on how strong your core is as we speak, as of right now. People don't realize that you need core strength to move from one yoga pose to another. So my first inclination is to start with Pilates first to build your core strength. I will say this, Pilates is the perfect complement to all other activities, even yoga. Yes, Pilates and yoga are not mutually exclusive. They work really well together. And Pilates makes your yoga practice better, and the same for yoga. Pilates makes your yoga practice better, and yoga makes your Pilates practice better. Didn't know that, huh? So how do you find a studio and or an instructor? Another big question. Referrals. The best referral comes from a friend, family member, or coworker. Find out as much information about the instructor and or the studio as you can, and then call or go to the studio and ask more questions. Specifically, cost, availability, addressing any injuries you may have. Do you like the instructor and or the studio? That's a big deal. So when I first meet a new client, what I like to do is I sit down and have a conversation. I want to know their why for starting Pilates and what they hope to get from Pilates. What do they hope to learn? Afterwards, I like to do a standing and a walking assessment. These assessments tell me a lot about a person's body, how they stand. Are they leaning to one side? Do they favor one leg over the other? Do they carry their purse more on one side so now they're like this, even though they're standing up? Rounded posture. This is a biggie, especially a lot of us that are working from home. We're like this and our heads like this. So no matter how, why our body hurts because of these long extended periods of time sitting. So as you may know, or maybe you don't know from what I just told you, I do a lot of people watching. I know who's got back pain, who's got hip pain, who's got foot pain. So let's go a little bit deeper into Pilates. Pilates is accessible to everyone. What I like to say is Pilates is for everybody. Capital letter BODY, everybody. If you have injuries, if you're pregnant. Now, let me hold on right there. I will not accept clients who have never worked out and they come and say that they're pregnant. I just won't do it. They'll say, well, I want to work out. I want to get in shape. It's too late at that point. Okay. It just is. I'm sorry. Now, if you've been doing Pilates or you've been working out prior to getting pregnant, as long as it's okay with your doctor or OBGYN, is that what they call them now? OB. It's been that long, y'all. Then let's continue. Let's keep it moving. So I just wanted to put that in there. If you have any kind of issues in your body, I've had clients with scoliosis. Actually, not only did she have scoliosis, she had two rods, one on one side of her spine, one on the other. And the only part of her spine that didn't have a rod was her low back. So bending for her was not existent. So I worked on her core and I worked on her low back to make sure her core and her spine were very stable. So if you are new to Pilates, it's advisable to start with a private lesson to get the basics. You never want to just jump into a class, especially if you don't know what it is you're doing. Now, most instructors, I won't say most, I can't speak for them. I will always ask questions and finding out if people have any kind of injuries. Now, sometimes you might feel a little, I don't know, you don't want everyone to know your business. And I get that. So walk up to the instructor and just whisper to her or him, I have this issue. Can you, and the instructor will make sure to keep an eye on you to make sure you're okay. But you want to start with privates to understand what it is your body's doing. And you can let the instructor know that you want to get into classes, but you're not sure where to start. So they will get you ready to go into a class. So you want to get those basics and the safety prior to jumping into a class. This personalized approach ensures that you're performing exercises correctly and safely while reducing the risk of injury. Sometimes you do your homework, but for whatever reason, you don't feel comfortable with your instructor. So you've done all the things, right? You asked the questions. They said all the right things. The studio is just minutes from your house. Okay, say something, please. Tell the head instructor, tell the studio manager, tell someone that for whatever reason, you're not feeling comfortable with your instructor. It's okay. It's your right to be able to do that. You want to have the right instructor. Pick the right instructor that makes you feel good, that gets you, that you vibe with, that you connect with, right? That's what you want. You want to feel good going in and you want to feel good coming out. And I tell clients that all the time. My goal is to help you feel better walking out than when you walked in. True story. So here's a true story. Before I ever became an instructor, I took a couple of Pilates privates. Actually, I had 2 free sessions and I didn't want personal training because I was already doing that. And I thought, well, let me do something different. So I went in for my first session and I walked out of there going, what the hell just happened? Because I felt nothing. My questions weren't being answered. I just felt I wasn't getting what I needed. Okay, I'll try again. Went in, different instructor, same studio. Same thing happened. I walked out of there and I thought, this is crazy. I don't get this. This is just stupid. I'm not doing this stupid Pilates. That's what I said was stupid Pilates. So I had a client who was doing Pilates and training with me. She was doing Pilates with an instructor. And she asked me how it went. And I said, it sucked. I didn't like it. And she goes, you didn't see Maureen, did you? I said, no. She goes, go see Maureen. Well, now I'm mad, y'all, because I have to pay for a session now. I go in, I pay for my session, and she blew me away. She answered every question. If I said, well, why can't I do this? Why is this hard for me? Because remember, I'm a personal trainer. I'm strong, not quite too flexible, but I thought I can get this Pilates thing. And she was just amazing. And I knew that I wanted to do Pilates because of her. I wanted to be like her as an instructor. So that's a little true story right there. So yeah, I fired 2 instructors because they weren't giving me what I felt like I needed, what I wanted. So once you find that perfect instructor for you, ask questions about their availability. Should you do classes or private sessions, what the cost is, and the cancellation policy. So let me pause there. Pilates instructors work on a per client basis. And so there's always emergencies, and we get that, okay? But when you get called into work when you weren't supposed to, anything like that, there may be a late cancellation fee. Just putting it out there. Now, here's what I do. If I have a client who's always on time, they're always there, and they have a late cancellation, I'll give them a buy because they're always there. They're always on time. Okay, fine. I get it. It's, crap happens. Ooh, I almost said a bad word. Anyway, but then there's always those clients, they're always late. They're always canceling at the last minute for whatever reason, and they don't want to be charged. Don't do that to your instructor, okay, if you can help it. And so I just wanted to put that out there. So let's talk about Pilates at home. So let's say that going to a studio, doing classes, or even doing privates is not in your budget. And I get that. But you can still enjoy Pilates at home via YouTube. Apple TV has, they're always streaming, right? Different instructors, different types. They're always available. Here's the drawback. You have no one monitoring your form, and this can increase your risk of injury. So just keep that in mind. Also, you can, from any instructor, if you find out, even you go to a studio, you find out that the cost is just too much, ask the instructor if they know of a good streaming service that has Pilates classes that he would recommend. That's another way to do it. But always be careful, always. So Pilates is a rewarding addition to your fitness routine. So go ahead and embrace the Pilates journey and enjoy the physical and mental benefits it offers. I believe that everyone has the right to feel good in their own bodies. And before I go, I want to tell you this story. I was based in Boston, and we had to travel to different studios for observation work. There were a certain amount of hours. I think it's 2,500 hours that are required. I went to a studio in Virginia, and I was watching this instructor teach different clients, and in came a male client in a wheelchair. And I watched for 50 minutes as this instructor took this client through the ringer, meaning he got an incredibly good workout. So afterwards, I asked if I could ask him a few questions. I told him I was an apprentice and I just wanted to know, why he started Pilates. So he started off with his accident. He had a car accident that left him paralyzed. And the doctors feel as though that he may or may not be able to walk again. So I asked him, I said, well, why are you doing Pilates? And he said, after I do Pilates, I feel tingling in my legs. Now, does that mean he's going to walk again? I don't know. But it gave him some hope. It made him feel good. It made him feel as though he was doing something. And that's when I knew I was on the right journey, that my passion for Pilates was real. And so I'm just going to leave you with that story. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please fire them at me, kat@smallspacepilates.com. Any questions about Pilates, working out, etc. I would love to answer those questions for you. I'm having issues today. It's messy, y'all, but it's okay. I'm real. I am not a robot. I'm not AI. I'm a real person. So this is Kat Corchado, your movement specialist, signing off.